Plan C, the creation of two separate worlds. By 2014, it was clear that control of global energy reserves by direct military intervention had failed, and the proxy jihadists had gotten out of control and were heading to failure in any event. In the meantime, Russia, Iran, China, the Reich, had overtaken the free world in all fields, including economic, physical, and social infrastructure, technology, and military. Critically, the Reich were starting to project power by protecting sovereign nations from empire interventionism in West Asia, Syria, North Ossetia, Belarus, Central Asia, Kazakhstan, South America, Venezuela, and Africa, Mali, Ethiopia, Burkina Faso, and to stand up to the U.S. directly. Making matters worse for the West, the economic, technological, and military gap between itself and the Reich was widening irreversibly with no chance for the West to catch up. If there were any doubts about the global balance of power, these doubts were removed in 2014, with Russia taking over Crimea and Sevastopol without firing a shot, and without a shot being fired against it. Brzezinski had indicated the geostrategic significance of Crimea in his book 17 years earlier. Prior to 1991, the Black Sea was the point of departure for the projection of Russian naval power into the Mediterranean. By the mid-1990s, Russia was left with a small coastal strip on the Black Sea and with an unresolved debate with Ukraine over basing rights in Crimea for the remnants of the Soviet Black Sea Fleet, while observing, with evident irritation, joint NATO-Ukrainian naval and shore landing maneuvers and a growing Turkish role in the Black Sea region. Indeed, Crimea's historical geostrategic importance is evidenced by the Crimean War, one of the bloodiest wars of the 19th century, in which Britain, France, and the Kingdom of Piedmont Sardinia, Italy, allied with the Ottoman Empire against Russia. In 2015, Russia joined the war in Syria against the NATO proxies, thwarting Plan B in West Asia. Towards the end of 2018, a most significant event took place. Amid ongoing U.S. efforts to destabilize Venezuela, which has the world's largest proven oil reserves, including threats of military intervention by President Trump in 2017 and an assassination attempt on President Maduro in 2018, Russia sent two strategic nuclear-capable bombers to Venezuela. Insofar as Russian nuclear doctrine includes protection of its allies, without specifying who these allies are, Russia's sending of the two strategic bombers, which, according to NBC, are capable of carrying conventional or nuclear-tipped cruise missiles with a range of 3,410 miles, is a clear indication that Venezuela is off-limits to direct military intervention. The impossibility of exercising global hegemony, coupled with the continuous erosion of the West's power and global influence and a commensurate expansion of the RIC's global influence, necessitated a Plan C. The only feasible strategy for the empire to preclude its capacity for domination from melting away completely would be to terminate the competition by splitting the world into two regions. One over which the money powers have ironclad control, where their rules rule, and which is completely separated from the regions in which the Reich have influence. These downsized objectives can be stated as follows: to impose an iron curtain totally dividing the world into two realms, to incorporate in the transition period as many resource-rich nations as possible, to install ruthless police states in the Western realm to subdue revolts arising from the resultant social problems and economic impoverishment. To impose total separation, an ideological basis is required, akin to the earlier free democratic world versus totalitarian communist world during the Cold War period. Other supporting ideological opposites during that period were believers in God versus atheists and right of ownership versus no private property.